What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Neighborhood Podcast. I'm one of the hosts of the podcast, Kevin Valentin, and in today's segment, we are going to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers and the unfortunate injury to LeBron James. So, Kyle, with you being our resident Laker fan on the show, gotta ask, what do you think the Lakers' chances are to make the postseason?
Kev, I think it's going to be an uphill battle to say the least. The Lakers have just had an up and down season the entire year, and this injury to LeBron proves that. They've had the Russell situation where they ship him off to Utah. Anthony Davis has been in and out of the lineup based on his injuries. And when the Lakers looked like they were finally getting some momentum on their side, LeBron goes down with this injury, and he's going to be out potentially for the next 2 weeks. And if he doesn't recover quickly from this foot injury, it could even be longer. So when you look at the Lakers roster right now, with LeBron out for the next, I'd say 2 to 3 weeks, they're going to have to rely on Anthony Davis to really carry the weight of this team. And they're going to have to focus on making sure their role players step up to the forefront and knock down critical shots for them and play decent enough defense to be competitive for the next 2 to 3 weeks until LeBron comes back. Because when you look at their schedule for the next 2.5 weeks, they're going up against some decent teams. They'll play teams like the Warriors, who are technically in a play-in tournament situation right now. The same goes with the Pelicans. The one aspect that is positive for the Lakers is that the majority of their games for the next 2 weeks are at home, so there won't be a lot of travel. And the date that I have in mind for LeBron's potential return is March 14th. They play the Pelicans, and they have a 2-game road stretch. And I think that game's going to have some weight to it simply because that's the team that they're gunning for the 10th seed in the West right now. And if the Lakers are able to stay afloat for the next 2 weeks, maybe they have a shot. But I just don't think that the Lakers have enough at their disposal to be able to be competitive against some really good teams that they're going to go up against. Like, for example, they played the Grizzlies tonight. More than likely, they're probably going to lose that game. They also play the Thunder in the next couple of days. That's going to be a tough game for them. If they had LeBron, I would say that they have a good shot to be competitive in those games. But with him out of the lineup, I think those are going to be potential losses. I think their best chance to get on some sort of decent hot streak here, or at least a streak to stay afloat, would be this home stretch that they have. And I think best case scenario is they manage to just stay at the record that they're at right now, maybe a game or two under 500. And then if LeBron comes back, it's going to be one final push to try to make a play-in tournament situation. The one aspect that bodes well for them is that when you look at their standing right now, they're the 12th seed in the West. There is a 3.5 game difference between the 4th seeded Suns and the 12th seeded Lakers. So there's not a lot of ground that the Lakers need to catch up with. It's just that they don't have their full array of players to work with. And I think they really kind of have to focus on AD being the primary force. And they better hope that he doesn't go down with an injury, because if he gets hurt, their playoff chances go right out the window. So I would say at this point, the Lakers' chances of making the playoffs are fading. I'm not saying it's impossible, but if they get on a losing streak and they can't win without LeBron, it's basically going to go from slim to none when it comes to their playoff chances. So this is going to be a critical stretch for the Lakers to be able to be somewhat viable until LeBron gets back, but it's going to be a challenge to say the least.
So obviously, I'm not going to reiterate what my partner just said. I'm in full agreement. I think it's going to be pretty much an uphill battle to damn near impossible for them to make the playoffs without LeBron James. But like I had stated, D'Angelo Russell is also out. And that is another primary ball handler that is going to be taken away from minutes, shot attempts, and all that. So you have to rely on Dennis Schroeder. You just traded away Russell Westbrook. To an extent, you would kind of look at this like kind of like a little bit of karma. You're like, damn, like we just traded away our primary ball handler to go get an injured ball. You know, it's the way that the world works. Everybody complained about Russell. Everybody didn't like Russell. But now that you need someone to step up as the second fiddle, you do not have that option. And again, like I said, they traded for D'Angelo Russell as well within that package. But he unfortunately succumbed to an injury with his ankle, I believe, on the 23rd. And he's going to be out a specific amount of time. I saw a report that listed him as day-to-day. Kyle saw something that said they're going to reevaluate him in 2 weeks. So it's really just up in the air in terms of a timetable for him as well. But let's just focus on what the Lakers need to do in order to win. They got a successful formula and an example of how to succeed against the Mavericks. Now, not every team is going to be as easy to do that with, especially Memphis, with them being physical. They have a bigger paint presence. But what I'm getting at is you are going to have to attack the paint. You cannot get shot happy like you did against Dallas, and you luckily came away with that, even though you shot 17% from the three-point line. Yes, LeBron James and D'Angelo Russell are out, but that does not mean you are not going to be able to attack the paint and get bigs in foul trouble. You have Anthony Davis, you have Jared Vanderbilt, and you have Mo Bamba. You have big bodies that can go and put a paint presence to get other bigs in foul trouble and even take advantage of certain switches with high pick and rolls. And you have Malik Beasley that is going to be out there sniper shooting. You have Austin Reeves and a couple of other players that can play and step up when need be. But again, in terms of making the playoffs, realistically, based on what Kyle just kind of went over in terms of their next available schedule, we all know Memphis is one of the best teams in the NBA. It's probably not going to happen. Oklahoma City always plays the Lakers tough. I mean, the Lakers were fully healthy against the Thunder a couple weeks ago when LeBron broke the scoring record. They still damn near lost by 20 points. Then you got Minnesota, who's also playing for their playoff hopes right after that, and so on and so on and so forth. Yes, the Lakers have a big homestead, but when you talk about the star-studded teams that are going to come up against after the Timberwolves, you got the Warriors, the Grizzlies again. The Raptors are probably one of the easier games in that stretch. Then you have the Knicks, who are surging in the Eastern Conference. You got the Pelicans. We don't know if Zion's going to be back, but they're fighting for the playoffs. And the easiest game you have after that is going to be the Rockets. So basically, the Lakers are playing a playoff team and or play-in team in every single game until March 15th, which, of course, conveniently is going to be around the 2-week mark, which LeBron James and, of course, D'Angelo Russell will be reevaluated at that point. Unless some of them make significant progress, the Lakers have a damn near impossible task. But like I said, you attack the paint, like Kyle also stated, feed Anthony Davis, let your star flourish, do what you need to do, and you got to hope that your role players step up. But in terms of what the Lakers are going to be able to do in that time frame, that's going to be the testament. That's going to be the hard part. And truthfully, like Kyle said, I don't really think it's going to be possible.